There's a moment every man faces, not when he gets left, but when the person who walked away tries to come back. It starts quietly, a message out of nowhere, a sudden reappearance, a test. She wants to know if she still has access. But this isn't about her. This moment is about you, who you've become since the silence, and how you choose to respond now that the script has flipped. Most men collapse the moment she returns. They think it's their shot at redemption, when in truth, it's their moment of exposure. It shows whether they've grown or whether they've just been waiting. Because how you handle her return says more about your value than anything you did during the relationship. This video is not about getting her back. It's not about reading her mind. It's not even about relationships. It's about mastery. Mastery over your mind, your emotions, your decisions, and the frame you bring to every interaction. You're going to learn how to respond without reacting, how to maintain power without playing games, and how to make her realize that if she ever wants a place in your life again, it won't be by walking through the same door she left. Before we dive in, if you value clarity over chaos and strength over sentiment, support this channel. Every subscriber helps us reach another man who's navigating silence, regret, or confusion. By backing this mission, you make these insights accessible to the men who need it most. You create change, you build strength, you help raise a standard. Now, let's get to it, because she's watching your every move, but this time, you hold the mirror. Why she came back, understanding her return. When a woman comes back after walking away, most men misread the situation entirely. They assume her return is a sign of love, a sign of realization, maybe even redemption. They think she's had a breakthrough, that she's been silently regretting the breakup, comparing every man to you, and finally understands what she lost. But the truth is far more complex and far less romantic. Women rarely come back because they've spent nights crying over you and now want to rebuild what was broken. More often, her return is rooted in disappointment somewhere else, not discovery of your worth. Maybe she left for someone new, a man who felt more exciting, more ambitious, or more emotionally stimulating. Maybe it wasn't even someone real. Maybe it was an idea, a fantasy of something better. Many women walk away not because they're running towards someone else, but because they're chasing a feeling they think they're missing. They imagine a life with more spark, more freedom, more validation. And when the world doesn't deliver what their imagination promised, they start to look backward. Not because you suddenly became more attractive, but because the future they chased turned into a wall. Sometimes she comes back because the man she chose instead of you wasn't who she thought he was. Maybe he was emotionally unavailable. Maybe he was only there for physical validation. Maybe he ghosted her, betrayed her, or simply didn't treat her with the same care and stability you provided. In her moment of rejection or failure or emptiness, she thinks of you, not because she sees your value, but because you once gave her emotional comfort. You were the safety net, the fallback, the one who never made her feel judged. You were the man who gave more than he received, and she knows that. But it's not always about another man. Sometimes she comes back simply because she feels lonely. Her phone is quiet. Her notifications don't pop like they used to. The attention she once received isn't as constant. She may not miss you as a person. She misses the access to affection, the access to your energy, your admiration, your time. When everything outside goes quiet, she looks for what once felt stable. That stability is you. And without emotional awareness, you'll mistake her reappearance as romantic interest. You'll interpret it as love, when in reality, it's just convenience. Her return isn't about you. It's about her, her situation, her emotional needs, her mental state. She's checking if the door is still open. She's confirming if you're still available. She's trying to see if you've moved on, or if you're still emotionally orbiting her presence. And that's why so many men get hurt all over again. Because they think her return is a declaration. They think it's a second chance, but it's a scan, a test. She wants to know if she still has power over you. And unless you've changed, unless you've built your identity in her absence, you'll hand her that power back without even knowing it. That's the mistake most men make. They don't pause, they don't question, they don't analyze. They respond with hope instead of discernment. They get emotionally activated just by the sound of her name in their inbox. They start imagining conversations, healing, rekindling, and all the while, They're walking directly into a situation they don't control. Because she didn't come back to give, she came back to take. And if you don't see that clearly, you'll give her your time, your energy, your presence, and once again, you'll get left holding the silence. Understanding her return isn't about becoming cynical. It's about becoming clear. Clarity protects you. Clarity builds discipline. Clarity gives you space to assess. Is she showing up with growth or just emotion? Is she offering real change or just temporary attention? If you don't ask these questions, you'll fall for the same pattern in a different disguise. And the cost isn't just emotional, it's psychological. Because every time you return to what once broke you, you teach yourself that your standards don't matter. So when she comes back, don't ask what it means for her. Ask what it reveals about you. Are you still the same man who would have said yes without thinking? Or are you the man who now sees the difference between attention and intention? That answer determines whether you stay in your power or hand it back again. How men lose all power, the celebration trap. It starts with a message, just a simple line. Maybe it's, "Hey, how have you been?" Or, "I saw something that reminded me of you." No apologies, no accountability, no deep explanation. Just soft words tossed into your inbox like bait. And for most men, that's all it takes. Their mind races, imagining a comeback story. They tell themselves, "She's finally realized. She wants me again." And in that one moment, before she even explains why she disappeared, they've already emotionally committed. He's already there, smiling at his phone, texting back too fast, talking to his boys, saying things like, "She's finally come to her senses," or, "I knew she would regret it." But what he doesn't realize is that he's already lost. Because the second you show her that you're excited just to hear from her, the second you act as if her return is a reward, she knows you never truly moved on. She knows she still owns real estate in your head. And that knowledge shifts the power instantly back into her hands. This is the trap. It's not her message that hurts you. It's your response. It's your excitement. It's the emotional celebration that shows her she still controls your emotional state. She didn't even have to say much. She just had to exist. And now, your confidence, your silence, your progress, all of it is undone in a heartbeat. Because you celebrated before anything real was even offered, and she sees it. Women are incredibly perceptive when it comes to emotional power. It's not just about what you say. It's about how quickly you respond, how enthusiastically you reply, how long your messages are compared to hers. She reads energy. She picks up on tone. And if she feels that she can get the same emotional access to you that she had before, without earning it, she loses respect immediately. Not because she's cruel, but because certainty kills attraction. She knows she can walk in and out of your life like a revolving door. That realization makes her feel powerful. It reassures her ego. She doesn't even need to work for your attention. You're giving it away. And whether she stays or leaves again, the damage is already done. You've taught her that the man she left is still standing in the exact same spot she walked away from. And that man is not respected. He's not desired. He's just available, always. What most men don't understand is that women test without even meaning to. A casual message, a simple like on your story, a random check-in. It's a probe. She's checking to see if you've emotionally detached, if you've grown, if you've moved on, and every word you say, every emoji you send, every second it takes for you to reply, gives her more data than you think. If she sees emotional enthusiasm and immediate vulnerability, it tells her you're still orbiting around her. She might not even want to come back. She might just want to confirm her power is intact. She wants to know that if everything else fails, you're still there. You're the fallback, the backup, the man who doesn't say no. And once she confirms that, she feels no urgency to invest in you, fight for you, or even earn your attention again. The most dangerous moment for any man is when he gets emotionally activated by a woman's return and calls it love. He believes it's connection, but it's just muscle memory. It's just unhealed emotion. And when he jumps back in too fast, he doesn't realize he's not starting something new. He's repeating a pattern that favors her comfort and dismisses his own value. And here's the deepest cut of all. When she returns and you light up, she may actually lose all remaining attraction she had for you. Because it confirms her original decision. It confirms that you were always more invested. It confirms that you were waiting. And even if she was reconsidering you, that dynamic removes the tension, removes the chase, and removes the need to earn you back. That's why celebrating too soon is the fastest way to lose all power in any interaction with a woman who once walked away. It reveals that you haven't built anything inside yourself during her absence, that you haven't grown, evolved, detached, that you've simply been emotionally paused, waiting for her return like a man stuck in time. And no woman is truly drawn to a man who makes her his entire emotional universe, especially not without her doing anything to earn that spot again. Understand this clearly. She's not coming back because she sees your strength. She's coming back because she suspects your weakness. And when you celebrate her return with open arms, excited messages, and emotional availability, you confirm it. You prove her suspicion right. And in that moment, you don't get her heart. You just give her back the power she once had, without resistance, without question, without demand. Don't be that man. Power is in calm, not reaction. When she reappears in your life, whether through a message, a comment, or an unexpected call, most men immediately fall into one of two emotional traps. They either react with excitement and hope, trying to reconnect with her emotionally, or they respond with coldness, bitterness, and defensiveness, trying to punish her or act unbothered. But in both cases, the emotional power still belongs to her. Why? Because either response reveals that she still matters enough to disturb your balance. Whether you're overly eager or aggressively distant, you're still reacting from emotion. And that means she still has influence over your mind and your behavior. The man who is grown, truly grown, doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't need to fake indifference or manufacture anger. He doesn't shut the door in rage, nor does he swing it wide open in hope. He simply stands still, calm, observant. He listens more than he speaks. He waits instead of chasing. He reads energy instead of forcing outcomes. And it is that calm, neutral posture that immediately disrupts her expectations. She was prepared for two things: affection or aggression. What she didn't expect was composure. In those first few interactions, your emotional posture is everything. If you respond too quickly, she reads interest. If you write too much, she senses eagerness. If your tone is too sweet or nostalgic, she knows she still has emotional leverage. But if your response is measured, not too fast, not too long, not too warm, you send a message she feels instantly. She's no longer in the same position she was before. She no longer knows where she stands. And for the first time, she's the one asking the unspoken question: did I lose him? This uncertainty is not about playing games. It's about regaining emotional sovereignty. It's about showing that your peace is not up for negotiation, that your energy is no longer offered just because she returns. You don't withhold as manipulation. You maintain distance because you've worked hard for your stability. And no one walks into your life without earning access again. This is emotional discipline. This is self-respect. There is immense strength in not rushing to respond, in not feeding her the validation she's looking for, in not letting your emotions dictate your communication. That's how you become unpredictable, not by being confusing, but by being grounded. She's used to men who are emotionally reactive. She's used to men who either shower her with attention or cut her off with hostility. But she's not used to a man who simply refuses to be moved unless something real is offered. A man who doesn't chase, doesn't flinch, doesn't try to prove his worth, because he already knows it. This calm, assertive energy shakes her because it forces her to confront herself. She has to look at her own reasons for coming back. She has to evaluate whether she genuinely wants something deeper or is simply returning to test your emotional temperature. And if her return was never rooted in true growth or honesty, she'll quickly realize this version of you can't be manipulated, softened, or controlled. And this is where your true power emerges, not through silence for revenge, not through apathy to hurt her, but through stillness. When she realizes she no longer has access to the same version of you she left, she either levels up to meet your new standard, or she disappears again. And this time, you won't flinch, because you've learned that power is not about control over others. It's about control over yourself. Let her wonder. Let her think. Let her work for the clarity she once took for granted. When you move like a man who is no longer emotionally available on demand, you become the mirror she never expected to face. You are not angry, you are not needy, you are simply calm. And calm, to a woman who once had power over your heart, is the loudest message you'll ever send. What you must ask yourself. When a woman reappears in your life after leaving you behind, your first instinct might be to feel flattered. Part of you may still want to believe that she realized your worth, that she's matured, that she's finally seen what you offered, your loyalty, your support, your presence, and now she's ready to rebuild what was lost. But before you say a single word, before you even think about letting her back into your space, you must stop everything and ask yourself a set of clear, unflinching questions. These questions are not emotional, they are structural. They exist to protect your future from being shaped by old patterns and recycled pain. The first question is this: has she grown? Not changed her clothes? Not posted a few self-love quotes on Instagram? Not started journaling for 2 weeks? Has she actually confronted herself, her decisions, her emotional patterns, her behavior, and made meaningful improvements? Growth isn't measured by time, it's measured by transformation. It's not about how long she's been gone, it's about what she did with that time. Did she learn from what happened? Did she dig into why she left the way she did? Or why she mistreated you? Or why she didn't value the connection when she had it? Did she seek clarity, mentorship, healing, or accountability from anyone besides you? Or did she just wait, stay distracted, and return when her emotional supply ran dry? If she hasn't grown, then all she's bringing back to you is the same person in a slightly different costume. And if you take her back based on nostalgia or familiarity without confirming her emotional development, you're not reuniting with a partner, you're reuniting with your past. The second question you must ask is, did she take accountability? This is the hardest and most rare quality to find in anyone who returns after walking away. Accountability isn't a soft apology like, "I'm sorry if I hurt you." That's avoidance. That's deflection. True accountability sounds more like, "I know I hurt you. I didn't handle things the right way. I disappeared without explanation. I chose selfishness over clarity, and I see now how that impacted you." That's what ownership looks like. No excuses, no blaming you, no pretending that you both made mistakes equally when she was the one who initiated the disrespect. If she comes back and avoids the past, or worse, rewrites it to make herself feel better, that's a sign of emotional immaturity. And emotional immaturity is what breaks relationships in the first place. You don't rebuild trust with someone who can't even look you in the eye and name what they did wrong, because if she can't admit fault now, she won't be able to respect your boundaries later. And respect is the foundation of all real connection. Then comes the third and most personal question. Does she now add value to your life? Forget the history, forget the good times, forget the chemistry. The only thing that matters now is whether she brings peace, clarity, and genuine value into your present. You are not who you were. You've grown, or at least you should have. Your standards are higher, your time is more sacred, your energy is more guarded. So you must ask, does her presence elevate you or drain you? Is she inspiring discipline, confidence, focus, or is she pulling you back into emotional confusion and uncertainty? A woman who truly belongs in your life will support your growth, not threaten it. She will align with your new mindset, not disrupt it. She will respect your schedule, your process, your personal evolution. Not guilt you for becoming stronger in her absence. If her return feels like emotional chaos, if you feel your peace shaking, if you start questioning your strength again, she's not here to build. She's here to feed on your attention, on your reassurance, on the comfort of knowing you're still emotionally available. And you cannot be the man who allows her to feed on your focus without investing in your future. You must also go deeper. What kind of exit did she make? Did she leave with respect, honesty, and closure? Or did she ghost, lie, manipulate, or play emotional games? Did she vanish when things got difficult? Did she use vague phrases like, "I need to find myself," while entertaining other men? Did she push you away while knowing she had someone else lined up? Because how someone exits is the truest indicator of their emotional maturity. If she disrespected you on the way out, her return is not redemption. It's just another attempt to access what she walked away from for free, setting the standard she never expected. The The moment she comes back, she's not just reaching out. She's testing a memory. She's expecting to find the man she left behind, the one who texted too fast, the one who forgave without boundaries, the one who made space for her at the table, no matter how many times she walked away from it. She's counting on familiarity. That's the card she's playing. She believes you'll be right where she left you, emotionally available, romantically hopeful, secretly waiting for her return. Most men are. That's why she tries. But if you've truly done the work, the painful, slow, disciplined internal work, then the man who stands before her now is not the man she once knew. And nothing confuses a woman more than realizing the game she used to win no longer works. When she finds out the door she once walked through without knocking now requires a key, one she no longer has. That's when she pauses, not because she's impressed, because she's shaken. She expected your tone to be soft. She expected warmth, a smile, an open heart. Instead, she hears neutrality. Your voice is calm, your words are measured. You're not cruel, but you're not available either. There's no eagerness in your responses. There's no desperation in your presence. She expected to be chased. Now she feels like she's standing in front of someone who doesn't chase anything anymore. Someone who has learned that what's meant for him doesn't need to be begged for, begged back, or begged to stay. And that's where everything shifts. Your patience is shorter now, not because you're bitter, but because your time has become sacred. You've built routines, goals, discipline. You've focused your mind on your mission, not on her moods. You're no longer accessible at any hour. You're no longer adjusting your day to accommodate her emotional shifts. You have standards, and standards aren't announced, they're felt. She feels it when your texts aren't paragraphs. She feels it when you don't ask about her life like you used to. She feels it when you don't reach to pick up where things left off. You don't live there anymore. She might not say anything, but inside, she's asking, what happened to the guy who used to melt when I smiled? What happened to the man who used to validate me before I even asked? And the answer is simple. That version of you died in the silence. He didn't get resurrected when she came back. He evolved. The man who took the heartbreak, sat in it, broke down, and rebuilt. He's not stepping backward into old habits for anyone. This is the standard she never expected. A man who's emotionally stable, mentally focused, and spiritually grounded. A man who doesn't get high off attention. A man who's already full, so he doesn't need her to complete him. You don't seek her energy to feel good anymore. You don't use her approval to feel worthy. That's what makes you different now. You've detached from needing her to validate you. And that alone flips the entire power dynamic on its head. You see, most women return when they sense your life has gone quiet without them. They imagine you've been stuck. They picture you scrolling old pictures, playing back old memories, wondering when she'll return. But when she comes back and finds you progressing, sharper, healthier, more focused, she realizes she no longer defines your momentum. She used to be the center of your emotional world. Now, she's just a guest. And she hasn't even earned an invitation back in. This is not about arrogance. This is not about revenge. This is about raising your standards so high that your past doesn't meet the minimum entry requirements anymore. She needs to prove her presence adds peace, not confusion, growth, not regression, respect, not repetition. And if she can't, you move forward with zero guilt, because you know what you've built in her absence. You know what it costs to rebuild your confidence, your discipline, your self-respect. That wasn't easy. And no one gets to stroll back in and enjoy the man you became without showing up differently than they did before. She set a standard when she left. Now it's your turn to set one that protects the man she never thought you could become. And the most powerful thing you can do? Hold that standard quietly. Don't explain yourself. Don't justify your distance. Don't announce your boundaries. Just live them. Make her feel that the bar has moved. Not because you told her, but because she can no longer reach it from where she's standing. This is how you change the story, not by trying to win her back, not by proving anything, but by becoming the man who doesn't break character, even when the woman who once broke your heart tries to step back into your life. She came back expecting the old you. Now she's facing the new standard, one that she never imagined you'd have the strength to set. The man she left was emotional, reactive, maybe even desperate. But the man she's returned to, he's grounded, he's powerful, he's centered. He's not angry, he's not bitter. He's simply done needing validation. And that's the version of you that no one, not even her, was prepared for. When she comes back, don't respond for revenge. Don't ignore her out of spite. Respond with discipline. Lead with peace. Protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. Most women don't respect the men they can get back easily. They respect the men who grew so much, they had to rise just to earn a conversation again. Support this channel. It helps us reach more men who are going through what you've survived. Subscribe if you got value today. Share this with a brother who's lost. Help him rise. Help him become unshakable. Because when we build stronger men, we build a better world. You're not broken, you're becoming. Stay disciplined, stay dangerous, stay unstoppable.